Hey everybody, today I want to show the Deadzone for the Destroy Humans remake. GOG's offered a demo for the game, and I'm taking advantage of that to show this. So just jumping straight into it. The remake has an about 31% square Deadzone, so you have to move the stick that far before you start seeing any cursor movement occur. And a little further than that in the corners because it's square. 31% is a pretty large Deadzone size. Most games hover around 20-25%, and that itself is large. So this is notably bigger than that. You can see just how much stick movement I can make without anything occurring in-game. Square Deadzones have the side effect of restricting diagonal movement around the axes, so I can make bobbing motions like this, but move perfectly left, perfectly right. I can point at a very obvious angle, and I'm moving perfectly right. It's very obvious when looking up or down. It isn't until you break into these green regions that you start seeing diagonal movement occur. And what that kind of does is make diagonal movement inaccurate because your cursor's not moving in the direction your stick is, and can make aiming feel a little more clunky because much of the stick is only outputting 4 directions. What's kind of interesting about this Deadzone is most square Deadzones make kind of a perfect cross shape, but you see the Deadzone peaks out a little bit, and that's probably they might have set up a square Deadzone and then put another square Deadzone on top of that to do this. But another detail is that in the original game used an about 25% square Deadzone, which corresponds to these restricted regions you're seeing. So, but with this increased central region, the Deadzone's actually larger than the original game. And one of the things to note is that I'm using 100% camera sensitivity, but it seems when you lower this, the Deadzone increases. So my test was around 100% sensitivity, but I'm playing at 50 right now. As you can see, I'm past the illustrated Deadzone, but the camera's not moving at all. It isn't until I move a little further than that before you start seeing acceleration start. Now, this could be because the acceleration starts slower, especially with the slower sensitivity, so I might not be able to notice acceleration even if it's there. But as you can see, I'm playing at the minimum sensitivity, which I've defined with this black square. But as you can see, I'm holding the stick well beyond the illustrated Deadzone, but it doesn't seem like it's moving at all. It isn't until I move a little more where you start seeing the acceleration occur. Now again, acceleration might be occurring before this point and just be too slow to notice, but if it is the case that the Deadzone's increasing with lower sensitivities, this should definitely be addressed because that's what it at least currently looks like. And if that's the case, players who want to play at lower sensitivities are essentially being punished by making their controls more less responsive by increasing the Deadzone. So that shouldn't happen. It should be just a consistent Deadzone size for any sensitivity, if that is the case. Another improvement would be changing the square Deadzone into a circular Deadzone so that you'd be able to exit the Deadzone from the same distance on any angle. Circular Deadzones also shouldn't have this issue with restricting diagonal movement, so we can get full and correct diagonal movement everywhere. Additionally, it'd be nice to have an option for the Deadzone size. As it is currently at max sensitivity, 31% is a pretty large Deadzone size, and being able to play with lower Deadzones like 10% or 5% or whatever is comfortable for the user could make aiming feel much more responsive. Now for the ship, a square Deadzone could work since they've added the ability to fly up and down. So that would let you more clearly distinguish between just aiming left or right and flying up or down, so you wouldn't accidentally do that. But for Crypto's movement, a circular Deadzone with options would be a nice quality of life improvement. Now, in general, I want to point out that despite these issues, does play quite a bit better than the original game did. The original game used about 25% square dead zones, so at least visually here it's pretty similar. So the issues would be about the same. But the original game also used pretty heavy aim smoothing and look acceleration, which took a bit to build up. So aiming in that was very sluggish. It like turning like I am now isn't possible in the original game. And additionally, um, this remake has quite a bit more generous auto aim options. So there's a full kind of GTA style lock on mechanic that you can use. In the original game, that was used for powers, but this is just used in general. You can enable and disable that in the options. But also, in general, when your crosshair is close enough to the target, your weapon will veer off and hit that target. It could just be for the Zaphomatic, but that's currently how it's used. In the original game, if you miss the target, you miss the target, and that was it. So this game does play quite a bit better. It's just these improvements would just be a nice quality of life adjustment. Otherwise, that covers it. Thanks for watching, and hopefully the final game can see this bit of polish. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day.